Happy Tuesday. This is a quick video. I got something in the mail, a little bit of kit, as they say, and I thought I would give it a quick unboxing and share what I have found. I normally record my hex press videos, and I think the earlier video I did on this on the Sony ZV-1, which actually I like, with a couple of caveats. And I'll quickly get into those caveats, because those caveats affect the thing that I purchased that I got in the mail today. First of all, the battery life on this kind of stinks. And I'm in the process of trying a replacement battery, just getting a new battery, and maybe a way to charge the battery a little bit more conveniently. They advertise this like you should be able to use this for streaming, and I haven't found a way to get that to work. I haven't tried streaming now with turning everything except for the actual camera bits off, so you can turn off Wi-Fi, you can turn off Bluetooth, you can turn off all this stuff. That's supposed to help battery life. Haven't tried that yet, but with the default battery life, the results are pretty disappointing, and that's even given the kind of low bar when I was reading about the camera that it didn't have great battery. I already had my expectations in check, and it kind of even fell below those expectations. In fact, I had a couple of videos on my other channel that the battery just died in the middle of it. And that had to do with the fact that it was, the battery didn't die. The camera shut off because it was overheating. And it was overheating due to reasons that it took me a little while to figure out. So it happened twice. The first time it happened, I thought this is a fluke. I had it plugged in. I thought maybe I had plugged it into a power source that was just giving it a little bit more juice than it could handle, and it was just making it too hot. So I tried it differently. Died again. Turned out I was trying to record at 4K, 30 frames per second. Even though that's something that's supported by the camera, this is not some kind of hack. That recording at that resolution, at that frame rate, causes the camera to heat up too much, so you can't get more than 5 or 8, 10 minutes out of it before you run into this overheating problem. If you've seen any of my videos, they tend to be a little bit on the long side. I am, I suppose, verbose. So that didn't really work for me, and I wasn't expecting it. But after I did the research after the second time that it shut down, I did find that out. Well, I haven't solved that problem yet. Now, this video is very impromptu. I'm just recording it on my iPhone using the iPhone mic. So apologies if the audio quality is not the best. But that's probably the other thing I would say. So here I've got the little fuzzy, what they call it, dead cat attachment on the camera. This comes with it. You see, you take it off, you can see under here, this is where the actual microphone is. I remember when I saw some videos and walkthroughs of the camera before I bought it that I thought the audio sounded okay. But I haven't found that to be the case for me in my practical use. I usually, if it's at all possible, I record, not right now because I'm recording straight to my phone, but generally with this, if I'm recording at home, I'll have a good mic, XLR mic. In this case, right now I'm using the Lewitt 440 Pure, which is really good. Plugged in through XLR into an interface, and my interface has recording capabilities built into it, so I'm generally recording a track separately than when I'm recording through the camera, which is good for a number of reasons. In the two videos where the battery of this bad boy died, I still was able to salvage the audio and essentially upload and putting in some placeholder video to cover up the fact that the battery died, or overheated, whatever you want to call it. My camera died ultimately, because I had good audio. And second, I haven't had to rely on the audio coming out of this. And when I've usually A/B tested it, of course, I don't expect this audio to be as good as what's coming out of a good microphone running into a decent interface, blah, 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 but it's been poor. And for me, one of the other things I've tried is, now I'm in New York City, the weather is getting nicer. I like to get outside, I'm right near a park. I've done some videos from the park, and I've always been disappointed with the sound in those situations. Part of it, it's just tough because even though you're in a park, it's still New York City, even though I'm in Brooklyn. It's not the busiest part of the city by far. There's just a lot of noise. And there's also wind and whatnot. But even taking aside the fact, I feel like when I've come across a quiet place to do sort of a quiet video, I haven't really found the audio to be sufficient. So that leads me to what I did get today. And I'm going to put this camera down. is this bad boy, the Deity V-Mic D3 Pro. Got this. I did some different reviews. There are a couple of microphones that I think are all in the same price range and sort of prosumer level. All review really well. I just kind of think for my purposes, I just liked what, first from what I read, seemingly what Deity was doing and kind of how they had designed it. I haven't opened it up yet, so let me give it a little open. We can take a quick look. I'll probably in a day or two, once I try this a little bit, maybe I'll try a little A/B testing using against my other microphone, just so we can get a sense of how it sounds, or I can get a sense of how it sounds with my voice and in my usual practical usage. But oh my gosh, this, can you open it, please, box? All right, destroyed the box a little bit to get it open, but it is open now. Pretty simple. It's got some 2 layers of hard plastic. Here's the actual, some silicone gel. It's got here, so we've got a USB-C to USB-A for power. And I don't know if you can record directly to a computer. That's not my use case, but I'll check into it just to see. We have, it looks like a TRRS cable. So this will plug into here. Here's the actual microphone itself. It's comes with a shock mount and a windscreen. There it is without the windscreen. And the windscreen's got a nice little, see how the windscreen has this indentation? It matches up with the shock mount. That's kind of cool. Let's get a nice snug fit. So I will try some testing with this, but this will then go, this will slide into the cold shoe like that. Oh, I see, I can move that around. You can slide it however you need it to be. Get it dialed in there. So then basically I'll be able to record with this. Now, from what I understand, these work best when you're not super far away. I think a couple of feet. Basically kind of vlogger distance, something like this. Though, of course, you can put it over your head. It's hypercardioid, which means most of the sound is coming from the front, though it does have, usually hypercardioids have some kind of, like that you see in the diagrams, they have kind of a bubble in the rear where they will pick up noise, but for the most part, focused out in front. But I'm really excited to have this in hand, and hopefully, I'm not, like I said, in the studio, I'm not necessarily expecting it, well, it won't replace using another mic, unless I want the mic not to be on screen with me. The Lewitt mic, and I can move this over. The Lewitt mic is actually got a pretty small profile, all things considered, so I haven't minded having it in the frame. And actually I found that something like this, where it's still not far from my face, but it's kind of down, and I could probably frame myself, move things around a little bit to kind of take it, for the most part, out of the frame. I haven't found it a big deal. A couple other mics I have sometimes, depending on what I'm trying to do, and just in the limited space that I have, I find that the mic is taking up not only real estate just of my handsome, gorgeous face, but I have to try to see over it to say, look at my laptop screen or do something else, and that can be a bit of a pain. Lewitt hasn't been a bad job, but with something like this, and I also have on order an attachment which will let me go from this TRSS, they call it a smart cable, to an XLR. So I could then take this, mount it onto a pole, or in this case a desktop kind of mic arm, and then I could position it so it's coming down, you know, something like this, obviously above, off camera, I hope, if I've framed everything correctly, and still get good coverage, and then be totally free and clear. But for the most part, I really want to use this to do more stuff where I am outside, running and gunning, as they say, or I don't know, maybe I don't know if they say that, as I am saying, and get much better sound than what I was getting out of the basic a microphone. And I did get a package. There are a couple different packages. I was going to get this from B&H. They're local. They're also here in New York City, and they're a huge vendor too, but they were out of stock, so I did end up doing Amazon through this one, and they had a deal which had a dead cat cover for this, for the Deity, which will just help additionally with more, if there's more wind noise, which there tends to be around here. So I imagine if I'm outside, I'll mostly probably have that dead cat on here. But I'm going to try it in some different areas. I'll run some tests. But I'm excited to have it, to add this little bit and hopefully take a weakness of mine, which I felt like was this camera's audio, for using it, and turn it into a strength. Anyhow, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Game on.